So I have a class called bookpacking on Saturdays, and it's Saturday morning. It's the first week of classes. I'm just getting ready and putting on some highlighter and like makeup and stuff like that. Really looking forward to a long ass day. The class starts at 10 in the morning and then goes until like 5:30. It's basically just a mini trip every single week around LA, and I think that's just like, that's kind of doable. So I just am skating to class right now. It's around 9:45 right now, and I'm about to head into the building. It's just over that way. Right there. This is just me taking some notes, listening to a couple hours of lecture, and then... So we just finished our seminar for the day, and we have a little lunch break for about an hour. So I'm gonna go grab some food, and then we're gonna go on like the minivan, go to the actual excursion, and it's gonna be great. Hello, I'm at lunch right now. I went to one of the dining halls, but basically this week we're going to Alvera Street, talking about the utopian ideals that were implanted into the LA identity. Basically how we appropriated but also celebrated Hispanic and Mexican culture. I'm really excited. We're gonna visit Alvera Street. My professor is incredible. I love him. He's like British. The only thing I'm kind of sad about is that the Women's March is also today, but because it's a Saturday class, I can't go to it. But I mean, learning about how Los Angeles is basically a fake city founded on utopian ideals, but actually is like appropriating but also celebrating its Hispanic like heritage. It's a pretty good way to like spend your first Saturday. So we hopped into the minivan and then drove around. Our first stop was actually a church that was nearby called St. Vincent's Church. Anyway, we talked about the architecture of that and the Automobile Club of Southern California that was right next to it. We talked about the architecture of each building because they have very Spanish roots, full of arches, and then we drove downtown. It was just kind of funny to see the Women's March happening at City Hall and then a line of homeless tents just right next to it. Very LA.
The LA Times throughout the 30s and 40s. The LA Times dictated the culture of the city, dictated the way the city thought about itself. We'll talk again a lot more about it in time. Apartment is the LAPD.
We got off at around Union Station where the minivan dropped us off, and then we walked a couple blocks over to Alvera Street.
So what I've been talking about, Spanish revival, this kind of stuff here, emerges as an answer to that particular.
There are several sites you can visit on Alvera Street, and the one we went into was Villa Adobe, and it's essentially the oldest house in Los Angeles, the very first one, and it's remodeled and kind of exemplify what it might have felt like in the time that it was built. Alvera Street is full of these vendors that are selling sandals and handbags and treats and all these things. It's supposed to feel like a cute little pueblo. Some people criticize it for being over-commercialized and fake and not authentic, but other people think that it's an homage to this heritage. And it's a nice little place to visit somewhere that's real and physical and historically inspired. I have a massive sweet tooth, so I was going around the vendors trying to find candy. I actually ended up talking to one of the vendors that I bought 2 mazapans from for $1. They were delicious, by the way. But her family had actually owned the stall for generations since like 1952 and have just passed it down the line, and that's the case for a lot of the vendors here on the street. So the story of Alvera Street is actually very interesting. There was this woman called Christine Sterling, and she basically fabricated this Mexican heritage identity. Although she was white, she wanted to preserve this culture that was stolen. This muralist named David Sequeiros, and he painted this mural called America Tropical that was meant to be this very idealistic image of Mexican culture, but he painted these twisted red bulging trees instead to represent this culture, and it got taken down. We went to yet another church and then headed over to Union Station. We talked a little bit about Art Deco and the architecture that was seen there, and then went over to Carroll Street, which is actually near Echo Park, because it is the line of the most historical Victorian houses in Los Angeles. Had we not had a Spanish revival movement, this is pretty much what all of Los Angeles would have looked like. Nonetheless, it was an amazing day, and I am so excited for this class, and going around taught me so much. Our homework for this class is basically to read books and write short blog posts about the day, so I took some pictures for that assignment, and after the sunset, we headed back.